Hello guys, thank you for staying tuned on this channel. So today it's going to be a little different in the sense that I'm not interviewing a guest. There's nobody sitting before me, so it's pretty much passing on an update, sharing a very important information with young professionals and new graduates. So, and there is a reason I'm doing this video. So like I mentioned, we'll continue to empower young professionals, inspire them with our information, and sharing every necessary information for them to succeed. So the reason I'm doing this video is this. So like pretty much on weekly basis, I receive calls from people back home in another country trying to, make changes and all of those things. I mean, you guys understand what I'm saying. So they call me, they say, hey, what's going on? I want to come to Canada. I want to move over to Canada, but, they are tightening up their immigration and, putting in some policies that are no longer student friendly. And most often than not, you will agree with me that our people would prefer to immigrate to an English speaking country. And the countries that are usually on top of our list are, like the UK, the US, Canada, and Australia. And the reason being that these countries speak English. I mean, English is their first language pretty much. And we're an English speaking country, and most countries in Africa, were colonized by the British, so they speak English. People would definitely prefer to migrate to an English speaking country. That's usually the first consideration, and things like economy, settling, policies, getting a job, and all of those things will come in. So this video is specifically for young professionals who are working and new graduates who would like to immigrate to another country via student pathway. So those are the people that this video is specifically for. So if you're a working professional and you're thinking, in Nigerian coined nomenclature, Jakba, and you want to Jakba, and you're considering, you're thinking, UK is out of the list because the immigration policies are no longer friendly to students. You're thinking, Canada, recently they changed their policies and it's no longer friendly as it used to be. You're thinking, US, oh my God, the immigration, their visa and everything is just. And then you're looking, Australia, oh man, those guys are something else. And you're like, okay, which country in Europe? They don't speak English and all of those things. This video is for you. So take it, grab your seats and just listen. I'm not gonna pretty much exhaust every information I have on this particular video. So I'm going to take step by step. I'm going to have this as my intro part 1, going to have part 2, part 3 respectively, until we exhaust all the possible steps, such that once you listen to this video, you can actually, get a sense of what exactly is going on and how best you can leverage this opportunity. Bear in mind that when it comes to immigration, countries don't just continue to relax forever. So it's pretty much usually like a wave. The wave comes. If you're ready, you just, take the opportunity and, Yeah, there you go. So it's basically going to be, after receiving too many calls, instead of explaining to each person anytime they call me, I just figured, oh, what am I doing? Why don't I just make a video, and then people can learn and, share the video, and, it saves me a lot of explanation and all the calls. So I did an extensive research. After agreeing to just do this, I spent time, I researched about the country, I researched about the admission process, I researched about the visa, getting into the country, and transitioning from being a student to becoming a permanent resident. So I did this extensive research, and I'm going to be sharing this with you. I may not exhaust everything right now because that's going to be too long, and I don't think people like to watch long videos, especially when it has to do with information like this. Okay, so so that's basically what the video is all about today. So first, which country am I talking about? The country is New Zealand. I know most of you must have heard about New Zealand. If you haven't, well, you're hearing it for the first time, and I'm going to give you information about the country just on a high level before we delve into the educational path, the student pathway. So New Zealand is a country southeast of Australia. So is a neighboring country with Australia. I think in some cities in Australia, guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the flight time is about 45 minutes. Just the same way you have Canada and US, depending on the part of Canada you are in. You can actually be a neighbor, maybe a few minutes flight to the US. So for example, here in Winnipeg, the closest city or states in US from Winnipeg is I think North Dakota before Minnesota and all of that. So it's about an hour plus flight to get to these states. So that's the same way it is for Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so that's where it's located. It's an English-speaking country. Okay, and New Zealand, they have about 5 million or over population. So the population is very, it's growing. I think that's the best way to put it. So the population is growing, and they need young professionals. So we're going to delve more into that in our subsequent videos. So it's a country with over 5 million population, located, southeast of Australia. And then the healthcare system, it's like what we have here in Canada, is one of the best in the world. From the record I can see here, they have a universal public system. So the government pretty much funds most healthcare through general taxation. So it's pretty much, if you're familiar with Canada, I think UK, they have a blend of that as well. So I'm not too sure. So if you're one of my subscribers or viewers, you can confirm that through the comments. So meaning that the healthcare system is managed by the government. So it's funded by the government through taxation. They tax people and then they fund the healthcare system. So it's pretty much like what you have in Canada, if not better, from what I can from my research. So New Zealand, they have a fantastic healthcare system, and the life expectancy in New Zealand is generally very high. So what it means is people live longer in New Zealand. So it's about average of 82 years. That's the life expectancy. 82 years. I don't want to make comparison with other countries, but I have those information. If I want to compare New Zealand with Canada or Australia, UK, and all of those things, but that's not what I'm here for. So I'm not here to compare, countries, but I'm just bringing out the fact that New Zealand is a fantastic country to live and work, study, and all of those things. So they provide those basic amenities, and life expectancy 82 years. Man, that's on top of the list globally. So they have an aging population. So it's not just peculiar to New Zealand. All this developed world, that's one of their challenges, and that's why they opened door for immigration. So New Zealand as well, they have an aging population, meaning they need younger ones to, come in and help the economy work, use their energy as per usual, work and put in the basket of the old. So they've done the estimation that in the near future they will have a lot of old people. So they need younger professionals to kind of, come around and help the economy as well. And then the currency for New Zealand is New Zealand dollar. So they use the dollar as well, and it has it's very strong. Trust me. So you talk about the USD, you talk about the Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and then the New Zealand dollar as well. So it's a strong economy they have there. And the capital city, I believe, is Wellington. So sometimes some researchers, if they've changed, they mix it up. So you can comment on the, put your comment on the comment section and tell me more information about New Zealand if you're living there. So this is pretty much like on a higher level about the country. So recently, you will agree with me that all these other countries that I mentioned earlier, they are sort of tightening up their policies in terms of immigration, be it through professional immigration or through via the student path. They are making some changes that are no longer friendly to students. While all these countries are doing this, New Zealand is opening up. So they recently made an announcement, a change. They have a fantastic path for students. The student tuition, tuition fees for international students are relatively cheap. So get me right, when I say it's cheap, I don't mean it's cheap as in cheap. I say relatively, meaning when you compare them with other countries that you would like to immigrate to, they are relatively affordable, I would say. So they have some programs. They have certificate program, they have diploma program, they have master's program. So and then they have PhD and then bachelor's, of course. So they have all these programs for students. The certificate and diploma program, mostly 1 year. You get into this program, you immigrate, they issue you postgraduate work permit, and then you get a job. I will mention some courses that are job ready or on demand. They call it the green list, that once you get into these programs and you graduate, you get your post-graduation work permit, and then you are qualified or eligible to apply for your post-graduation work permit and then work and transition as a permanent resident. So the pathway is clean, cool, and friendly. So they are the only ones that are currently friendly as we speak. Every other person is trying to, tighten up here and there. So this update is very important for, again, young professionals who are working and they want to go back to school and learn, and then using the students' route or pathway to immigrate to the country that they love to live in. This is also for people who have graduated but they need some post-secondary education to add to what they already have, to their bachelor's or to anything they have. So in my second video, I am going to talk about the schools that you can apply to and mention the courses and go through all of this path for us to get the needed information. So stay tuned. Put in the comment section any question you have, any other additional research you want me to add, or anything. If your question is already coming up in my next video, then you stay tuned to listen to that. But if it's not, then I will make efforts to extend my research to cover any of the questions that you may have. Okay? So again, I am doing this to empower young people, those who are working and thinking, what next? This is a good information for you to consume. Please share, comment, for us to get the other info. I am going to take it step by step. You don't need to, even if you want somebody to help you do it, no problem. It's possible that you don't have time, but you have the resources. But if you don't have the resources and you have the time, I will explain it in such a way that you can just follow through and you'll be able to do it. Okay, so I can't say everything works for everybody, So some people have time, but they don't have the money. Some people have the money, they don't have time. So you can engage somebody to go through the admission process, get the admission process, visa, and all of those things for you. Okay, so all these things will come, and I think that's where we're going to stop today. In my next video coming up, I will delve into talking about the schools, the courses, the green list, how to transition, and then the next one will talk about the application process and everything you need to know. Okay? Thank you for listening. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Immigrate to New Zealand as an English-speaking country, providing all the opportunities. Some people may say, especially those from Nigeria, West Africa, say, it's far. That's what I hear people say. I know it's far. Even Canada, if you compare Europe, like living anywhere in Europe, UK, Germany, all of those countries, to Nigeria is like 6 hours, 7 hours max. But then Canada is far as well. It's like ×2 of it. So, and then it's pretty much close to the same thing. There are people in Australia. So Australia, New Zealand is like Canada and US. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's far, but it's the next place that you would call a home and be happy. They don't have the kind of cold that they have in Canada. Canada, the cold here is very extreme. So I haven't delved more into the weather. So if you're in Australia or New Zealand and you know about the weather, please put it on the comment section. But I think when it comes to that, I don't really think it matters in terms of the distance, because you're not riding to the place, you're not driving to the place, you're flying, and you just do that once. It matters when you've gotten everything and you've settled, but if you're still trying to jackpot and you have that burning desire, and you have the money, again, if you have the money, it's usually a big deal. Then those things that matter. Another thing is they accept families as well. I forgot to mention that. Remember, some other countries, Canada is talking about, oh, if you're coming and your family, if you're doing this program, UK is saying, New Zealand right now, they accept you and your family, and the success rate for their visa, everything is very high right now. So again, every opportunity for immigration is like a wave, it's like a window. It opens up, everybody is bombarding it, then they begin to say, oh, now we're getting enough. We have to begin to put all these policies. But as at the time of this video, it is very, very creative. So thanks guys, appreciate your time. Stay well, stay tuned. Spread this message to your loved ones, friends who may benefit from it. And see you in my next video. Thank you.